Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming and unforgettable stories. What does a perfect relationship look like? Is it grand gestures? Expensive gifts? Or is it something much simpler? Let's find out. Sophia and Ethan met on an ordinary Tuesday. There was no dramatic accident. No love at first sight. No movie-like moment. Sophia was standing in a crowded coffee shop, frustrated because her laptop had suddenly stopped working. She had an important presentation due the next morning. As she stared at the blank screen, panic filled her face. That's when a stranger sitting nearby noticed. "Need help?" he asked. Sophia looked up. The stranger smiled. "My name is Ethan." Normally, she would have refused help. But desperation won. Within 15 minutes, Ethan managed to fix the problem. Sophia was relieved. "Thank you," she said. "You just saved my career." Ethan laughed. "I think that's a slight exaggeration." Before leaving, he handed her a small note. Not his phone number. Not a social media account. Just a simple message. "Today, someone will make you smile. Hopefully it's me." Sophia couldn't stop smiling for the rest of the day. What would you have done? Would you have contacted him again? Sophia did. A week later, they met for coffee. Then dinner. Then long walks through the city. The more time they spent together, the more they realized how different they were. Sophia loved planning everything. Ethan preferred spontaneity. Sophia worried about every detail. Ethan believed things usually worked out. Sophia liked quiet evenings. Ethan enjoyed adventures. Yet somehow, the differences worked. Instead of changing each other, they learned from each other. Months passed. Their relationship grew stronger. But every relationship eventually faces challenges. Theirs arrived sooner than expected. Sophia received a job offer in another city. It was the opportunity she had dreamed about for years. The promotion came with a higher salary and incredible career growth. But accepting it meant moving hundreds of miles away. One evening, she sat across from Ethan and delivered the news. Silence filled the room. Neither knew what to say. Finally, Ethan asked, "What do you want to do?" Sophia looked down. "I don't know." She expected him to tell her to stay. Part of her wanted him to. Instead, Ethan surprised her. "If this opportunity helps you become the person you want to be, then you should take it." Sophia blinked. "Even if it means leaving?" Ethan nodded. Love shouldn't stop people from growing. Those words stayed with her. Would you have made the same choice? A month later, Sophia moved away. The first few weeks were difficult. Video calls replaced dinner dates. Messages replaced morning walks. There were lonely nights. Missed conversations. Moments when both wondered if the relationship could survive. Then one particularly stressful evening changed everything. Sophia had a terrible day at work. A project failed. Her boss criticized her presentation. She returned home exhausted. When she opened her apartment door, she froze. There, sitting in the living room, was Ethan. She stared in disbelief. "What are you doing here?" Ethan smiled. "You sounded like you needed a hug." Sophia laughed and cried at the same time. The visit lasted only one weekend. But it reminded them why they were fighting so hard to stay together. Years went by. The distance eventually ended. Sophia returned home with greater experience and confidence. Their relationship entered a new chapter. Friends constantly asked for their secret. "How do you make it work?" The answer was surprisingly simple. They listened. They communicated. They respected each other's dreams. Most importantly, they never treated each other as opponents. When one succeeded, both celebrated. When one struggled, both fought the battle together. One day, Sophia faced another major challenge. Her father became seriously ill. Hospital visits became routine. Stress consumed her life. There were days when she barely slept. Days when she felt completely overwhelmed. Through it all, Ethan remained by her side. Not with dramatic speeches. Not with impossible solutions. Just consistent support. Sometimes he brought food. Sometimes he handled errands. Sometimes he simply sat beside her in silence. And somehow, that was enough. One evening, after a particularly difficult day, Sophia looked at him and asked a question. "Why do you always know exactly what I need?" Ethan smiled. "I don't." "What do you mean?" "I just show up. That's usually the most important part." Years later, Sophia would remember those words. Sophia would remember those words. Because relationships aren't built during perfect moments. They're built during difficult ones. The challenges reveal who truly stands beside you. Eventually, Sophia's father recovered. Life slowly returned to normal. One sunny afternoon, Ethan invited Sophia to the same coffee shop where they had first met. As they entered, memories flooded back. The broken laptop. The nervous smiles. The first conversation. Everything had started there. Sophia laughed. "I can't believe it's been so many years." Ethan smiled. "Neither can I." Then he reached into his pocket. Sophia immediately knew what was happening. Her heart raced. Customers nearby noticed. The room grew quiet. Ethan stood up. Then knelt on one knee. "Sophia, you once asked me what relationship goals really look like." Tears filled her eyes. "I think it's this." He paused. Two imperfect people choosing each other every day. The entire coffee shop watched. Some people were already crying. Others secretly recorded the moment. Ethan opened a ring box. "I don't promise perfection. I don't promise easy days. But I promise to keep showing up. Will you marry me?" Sophia couldn't stop smiling. What do you think her answer was? Of course she said yes. Applause erupted throughout the cafe. Strangers cheered. Someone even bought them dessert. As they embraced, Sophia realized something important. The strongest relationships aren't built on perfection. They're built on trust, patience, respect, and choosing each other again and again, even when life becomes complicated. Years later, people would admire their marriage. Many would call them relationship goals. But only Sophia and Ethan knew the truth. The secret wasn't being perfect. The secret was never giving up on each other. And perhaps that's what true romance really means. Not finding someone perfect, but finding someone worth choosing every single day. Now tell me, what do you think is the most important ingredient in a lasting relationship? Love? Trust? Communication? Let us know in the comments. And remember, the greatest love stories aren't the ones without challenges. They're the ones that overcome them together.